Welcome to another live stream watch long reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Tigres UANL versus CF Cruz Azul in the 2025 CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinals. The first leg. This is the all-Mexican semifinal to decide who will play the MLS team in the final. On the other side of the bracket, we have MLS semifinal. Canada versus USA, though. Let's not forget about that. It is Canada-USA. It is Canada-USA on the other side, but it is MLS v. MLS. So we will have a Mexican team in the final, and depending on what happens, we'll either have a U.S. MLS team or a Canadian MLS team in the final of this tournament. But we know there will be a Mexican team, and we know there will be an MLS representative. We just don't know what side of the border they're on, of the northern border they're on. There you go. With that being said, Tigres UANL contra CF Cruz Azul, Concachampions de la CONCACAF, Semifinales partido ida. It's going to be a good night. I won't say a long night. It will be only 2 hours, give or take a couple of minutes. But we have a CONCACAF semifinal, CONCACAF After Dark. Cruz Azul, Tigres, both Liga teams. Cruz Azul, the best team over both Liga MX seasons, regular seasons, this year. The first Apertura definitely did most of the heavy lifting. But with that being said, Tigres, we'll see how they are. Montreal won, I think. No, they did not, Sean. Washington won. Toronto won in overtime last night. But talk about the Can Champ, that's next week. And Toronto should win that game. TFC over CF Montreal, but we'll go there when we have to. With that being said, starting 11 for Tigres. In goal, Nahuel Guzman. The back three of Juan Jose Peralta, Romulo, Jesus Angulo. The midfield four of Javier Aquino, Juan Bruneta, Fernando Gorejan, Joaquim. The front two of Diego Lainez, or the attacking midfield two of Diego Lainez, Uriel Antuna, and Ibanez up top. For Cruz Azul, in goal, Kevin Mir. The back three of Willardita, Eric Lira, Jesus Orozco. The midfield four of Jorge Sanchez, Ignacio Rivero, Alexi Gutierrez, Carlos Rotondi. The attacking midfield two of Charlie Rodriguez and Gabriel Fernandez. And up top, Angel Sepulveda. Really, attacking is Charlie Rodriguez. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, makes sense, Rory. Yeah, that's hockey. I watched The Rock's interview with Pat McAfee. I did shed some tears in the bathroom at work because I realized the egomaniac that wants to take over WWE from the top down. AEW might just gain ground on WWE. I don't think they will. I don't think AEW will gain ground on WWE no matter how much Rock does dumb shit. But AEW's got problems of their own. But do with that what you will. I agree. Been telling you Jack I should play. For not the reason I expected, but nice to be back here on. I guess King Josh was saying rip to Pope Francis. Rest in peace to Pope Francis. I don't know about that. But I say rest in peace to the man. May the Lord protect his soul. And I hope the Lord is with him up there. I thank Francis for his service as the Pope. I wish his soul the best in the afterlife, whatever that may be. and may the Lord be with him. That's where I'll put it. The game's about to start in a couple of minutes. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. Game's about to start any minute now. About 8 minutes after the top of the hour, but you know how this works. They're at El Volcan for the first leg of this semifinal. Tigres have won this tournament back in 2020. Cruz Azul, they've gotten close to winning stuff in their current form. It's been close, but no cigar. 6-time CONCACAF champions. The last time was 2014. They've been a contender for the past while, but hasn't gone their way. Tomorrow we got Miami versus Vancouver. Vancouver hosting the first leg of that. See what Miami does over there. Can't believe LA Galaxy lost, but I admit they're the worst team this season. Montreal actually is worse. I think LA Galaxy will bounce back to a certain extent when Ricky Pouge is back, but Montreal is actually the worst. Turns out Toronto's starting to wake up a bit. Asked Marshall what he thinks about the current Devils team, and he says the Devils team nowadays is a lot different from back then. They don't have an aggressive player and are a team made for the regular season. Oh, that sounds familiar, Sean. Anybody could have told you that's what was coming when Sheldon Keefe became the coach. Anybody could have told you, or I could have told you. Sheldon Keefe is a punk. He's a good guy. Sheldon Keefe's a good guy, but as a coach, he's a nervous wreck who's a punk. All he coaches are teams that are too soft to play in the playoffs. Yeah, your skill works during the regular season because they don't play tight. When they start playing tight, you look like punks. And if you play a team who's more physical, well, just look what happens, right? I could have told you exactly what was going to happen with Sheldon Keefe. I could have told you exactly. I had to live through, 1920, 2021, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24. 5 years of that bullshit. I could have told you exactly what was going to happen. It was a slog the whole way. While you're playing the freaking Canes. So, do that what you will. Cool. I see Burlington actually has a really good look at football kits. There's actually a subreddit about that as well. I have to go to Burlington, don't I? I think we still have one. Might have to go to it. Who do you think will win? On my predictions, I picked Cruz Azul. I still think they're the favorite, the slight favorite here. I think Tigres has a chance, but I still feel like Cruz Azul is the slight favorite here out of this tie. So, yep. Yeah, CONCACAF's weird, eh? It's really weird. By the way, Sandro Schwartz will be most likely replaced at the end of the season. Forgot the name of his replacement, but I saw an Instagram post about it. Damn! Makes the MLS Cup for Red Bull. They say, screw you a year later. My God. Like, I know it was a Cinderella story, but you would have thought he at least bought like a year or two more than this. Like 2 or 3 more years, you would have thought he at least bought that with how Red Bull works. Wow. Vancouver. Nobody expected this at all. Not me, not you, not Vancouver themselves. I guess you can win CONCACAF with no experience because Jesper Sorensen didn't know a damn thing about CONCACAF, and they somehow, with that ignorance, are winning. Interesting. Maybe just be afraid of nothing and you win. Maybe that's what it is. Be afraid of nothing, you win CONCACAF. Because Travis Scott was there when Cena turned heel. they all were in cahoots. But Rock didn't want to show his damn face at Mania, but at least Travis Scott showed up. I'll give him that. At least Travis Scott showed up to make that storyline play out perfect. Well, I wouldn't even say perfectly, but at least makes sense. Rock should have showed up. I'm still saying, though. They honestly should have kept him. I still stick with that. How we doing, Nestor? Here we go. Yeah, but Rock's egotistical punk who only shows up when his name gets dragged through the mud. That's the problem. That's why he showed up on Pat McAfee. He's finally gotten dragged through the mud through wrestling fans for being an idiot. People finally saw him for what he was. He's like, I got to talk now. So he shows up on Pat McAfee's show because Pat will throw him softballs. Oh, also Pat works for WWE, so. He said exactly what I would have expected him to say. And he still sounds like an egotistical scumbag. Do you want me to crash out again? Cruz Azul wearing white, Tigres wearing yellow. No. Cruz Azul is actually solid. They might have a smaller, better chance than what they did against America or what they would have against America, but they would have lost. I mean, anything can happen, but they still would have lost. I guess Florida Panthers were playing Possum at the end of the regular season, trying to get the Leafs, but they didn't. So here we go. And we're off. Speaking of here we go, we're off. At this point, probably. I don't even know if it'll go 7. Dear God, the Panthers are going to smack the Leafs around, aren't they? No, that's not what I wanted. Mir plays it forward. How we doing, Henry? That wasn't going to happen. But they got the next best thing. Braun Breaker. It's not that different. Not really, at least. I know. Which is basically what's the word? Translation for I wanted to show up and screw everything up and then just walk away. Translation. Yeah, it was close enough to sold out anyway as Sky Dome. I just wanted to screw up everything and show up and screw up everything. Nahuel in goal for Tigres. Angulo, Peralta, Romulo, Joaquim, Aquino, Brunetta, Goreran, Lainez, Ibanez, Antuna. Well, I'm rooting for Toronto to do the same thing. Mir in goal for Cruz Azul. Rotondi, Orozco, Lira, Dita, Sanchez, Gutierrez, Rivero, Charlie Rodriguez, Frantu Sepulveda, Fernandez. I agree. It is a Cinderella run. Nobody expected it. I don't think they tried. For most of their final regular season games, I don't think they tried because I think they wanted the Leafs. I think they wanted to go to the wild card. No joke. And they tried. They tried to blow it that badly. They didn't. They tried. They tried. Playing forward. Tigres cleared away. But they still got the Lightning, so there you go. Not me. Hell no. Miami? Sure. The two Mexican teams? Sure. Vancouver? No. I'm going to be as let down as I was when Seattle pulled it off. At least let Toronto be the first Canadian team to pull it off. I know it's going to take 30 years, but I will root for every Canadian MLS team to fall. And if a CPL team gets close enough that's not called Forge, I'll root for them to fall. I'll allow Forge to do it, though, if it ain't Toronto. But if we're getting to, like, the quarterfinals and a CPL team that isn't Forge makes it that far, I'll start downing them, too. My petty ass will start downing them, too. But certainly not Montreal or Vancouver. You're probably right. Because they're honestly the faces against Miami. But, they are the faces against Miami, but this time I'm on side with the heels. I did it during WrestleMania, and I'll do it here. I did it during the WrestleMania main event, and I'll do it here. Hell no. Because Rock's an idiot. Because Rock is an egotistical punk. He wanted to ruin Cody because Cody took him and Roman's moment from him. He was still probably pissed off about the last year's WrestleMania. So he wanted to ruin Cody's momentum. Cody at least fought for his alignment and wouldn't turn heel because he's a self-mark. So the other way to ruin it is I think a lot of people would have still bought Mania for a face-v-face John Cena versus Cody Rhodes match. They make John turn heel because I guess Rock wanted somebody to turn and sell their soul. But I feel like the idea of John turning heel and shitting on the fans but keeping everything else the same wasn't his idea. Because we know how John would have done a heel turn if he had it his way. Do everything opposite of the John Cena we know and love. Wear a singlet instead of wear a shirt and wristbands and jorts. Change his music. All that. He did nothing of the sort. He still does Make-A-Wishes behind the scenes. So... and he still talks like a face as long as he's not in the ring. So, or unless he's not on WWE TV. Because he did do the press conference. And either way, I feel like it was Rock's dumbass idea to keep everything the same, but Cena shits on the fans. Which, I mean, ironically, he's right. Ironically, what he said is true. But... on the other hand, it's still a stupid way to turn heel because it makes him look like an idiot. Especially with the fact that he still acts like normal old John Cena on interviews, Make-A-Wishes, meeting fans, talking to fans at a freaking DJ booth at WrestleMania Access. What are we doing? It's like they wanted to make the storyline look stupid. And then the match was booked like a freaking plot and joke. Now, I don't know if that's Triple H's fault or Rock still booked the match. He just didn't show up. I don't know if that was... seems to me like Rock told him this is how the match will go. It made Cody look stupid. It made Cena look stupid. It made anybody part of it look stupid. At least Travis Scott showed up, though. So, I don't know. And I'm happy John's the champion. I'm happy that he's the WWE champion. I'm still rooting for him, but I can admit that this is going over like a lead balloon. Like, this is the stupidest thing he's ever done. And all for what? Because Rock still has a axe to grind against Cody Rhodes, which I don't like the guy. I think Cody legitimately is a NPC. Like, John's right. Cody takes everything about people he wants to be. He takes parts of his dad. He takes parts of John. He takes parts of Homelander. Wears a suit and thinks he's a star. He's right about Cody. And these idiots are going to cheer Cody Rhodes over John Cena. Or, mind you, well, actually, no, they started cheering John over him anyway. But 20 years ago, John had a similar gimmick and similar booking to Cody Rhodes, but half the stadium booed him. But 20 years now, people chant Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes. And whoa, the dude is the same as John Cena 20 years ago. Half the stadium should be booing his ass. John's right. He is a 2-bit John Cena, a 2-bit Dusty, and a 2-bit Homelander all put together. But even then, I'll defend Cody and say Rock shouldn't be grinding an axe against him. He shouldn't. Of course he did, because he's on the board. 0-0, settle is settle. So there you go. Because they just choke all the time. But that'll change this year. But there's still a history of choking. No! I wasn't happy when Seattle won it. I will not be happy if Vancouver wins it. No! I am petty. Toronto should have won it in 2018. I will not rest until Toronto FC wins the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We should have one already. I will not rest. I am Gollum when it comes to this shit. I am Gollum when it comes to this damn trophy. I will not rest. We should have been the first MLS team to do it. We should have been the first Canadian team to do it. We could at least be the second thing. We still can't be the first MLS team to do it. We could still be the first Canadian team to do it. So that's what matters now. See, I don't care about Miami winning it because that's not what matters anymore. Another MLS team can win it as long as they don't have a maple leaf on their flag. That's the problem. There you go. I will not be happy. If Miami wins it, I could care less. At least I get views. At least I get more views when Miami does win it. Because Messi. Either way. So yeah, I'm petty. Because John Cena was working like a 70s heel. It was too damn slow. It was too damn slow for a WrestleMania main event. No big spots. Couple of ref bumps. 2 minutes in between. Travis Scott walking down the aisle like he was getting married. Like, it was too damn slow. It was slower than a snail. Sometimes slow and steady doesn't win the race. Not in wrestling, at least. I don't know. Because Rock didn't show his face. I feel like part of that was Triple H being like, oh, he's not going to show up because, let's remember, at Elimination Chamber, Rock said the final boss has done his part. Triple H hears that. He's like, you son of a bitch. I think part of it is Triple H was like, well, I can't say John. If I have John explain why he sold his soul to The Rock and The Rock won't show up, even at Mania, that's the stupidest thing we've ever. So he kind of retconned it, which I understand that because legit, it was stupid. Basically, all they could do was he shits on the fans for cheering Cody like he should have been cheered 20 years ago. Like John should have been cheered 20 years ago instead of how they actually cheered him. So do that. Yeah, I'm happy for Rusev. Exactly. Well, they should have both showed up. They both showed up in Toronto. They both showed up at Sky Dome. They both should have showed. Not just one of them. If Rock showed up and Travis Scott didn't, it wouldn't have made sense either. They both should have showed. At least Travis did show. Exactly. Triple H did all he could to make it actually make sense. But see, The Rock has tried to ruin Triple H's booking because I don't think he likes Triple H either. I think he wants to bury Triple H, and then Cody got on his shit list for last year. So I think he wants to bury Cody and Triple H at the same time. He can't really bury John Cena, but he can make him look stupid. But he wants to bury Cody and bury Triple H. I think that's what he wanted. At first, it was to bury Triple H. Then Cody's fans, the Cody Crybabies, ruined everything, which I don't think in his mind. I think Cody deserved the WWE title match last year. He should have finished his story. They pivoted well enough, but Rock wanted his moment with Roman. I don't know if he would have won the WWE title, but he wanted his moment with Roman. So, Rock still is pissed off about how last year went down. And I think he wants to bury both Cody and Triple H now, not just Triple H. I think at first he wanted to bury Paul Levesque. Now he wants to bury Cody and Paul Levesque. You can't bury John Cena, but you can make him look stupid. But I think John Cena is just a willing bystander in all this. He just so happened, because they always were going to do John Cody. What I think they were going to do was face versus face. Then Rock screwed it all up. But John's going to do whatever the big boys tell him to do. That's John. So he's a willing bystander here, and he looks kind of stupid, even though he's the champion. But John's fine with that because he'll do whatever they tell him to do. But you still can't bury John Cena. But I don't think that's The Rock's motive here. Because she's boring. Because she's the same character she was 5 years ago. Because she's not Rhea Ripley. Because she's not Io Sky. Because people want Bianca to turn heel. Because Bianca's a horrible face. She just is. Turn Bianca heel. And have her be the one who orchestrated Jade Cargill's attack. Which I think that's what people wanted. But either way. Mir. Oh, that's out for a goal kick. 0-0. Very even so far. Very even so far. Yep. Don't. Yeah, in kayfabe, yes. He said that. Just because you want to ruin wrestling doesn't mean you should make the main event of WrestleMania suck, Rocky. But yeah, at least Cena's kayfabe reason for the main event sucking makes sense, I guess, if you want to cope that way. Cruz Azul, Sepulveda. Oh, that's a foul the other way. Has to be. There you go. Nylander's staying in Toronto, besides. That's awesome. No, it's not. Because John Cena, so Ric Flair's bullshit doesn't ruin history for him. Because I could count like 5 Ric Flair title wins that had more bullshit, dusty finishes than the WrestleMania main event. If that's the line you're going to set, dude, really? Ric Flair acting like, by the way, what they call Ric Flair? The dirtiest player in the game. That's what they called him. All of his title matches were dusty finishes, but there were worse. There were some worse dusty finishes for his title wins than that WrestleMania main event. So John Cena had one dusty finish to win his one title. the one title that hits him at 17 when he's lost a step. It makes sense. Okay? The way he won it makes sense. Sort of. He's lost a step. This is last year. He wants to hit 17. It makes sense. So, but acting like Ric Flair didn't do as much bullshit to win 16 is disingenuous. Come on. Acting like Ric Flair is the freaking saint of wrestling is just wow. Wow. In real life and kayfabe. In the ring and out, acting like Ric Flair is the saint of wrestling? Are you delusional? Have you not know anything about Ric Flair? Do you not? Do you not know a thing about Ric Flair? What? 18th minute, 0-0. No. That's not. Rock just hates Triple H. He didn't do nothing. Rock just wants all the power. Whether he personally hates Triple H or he thinks he's just better to have the power, I don't think they've ever really liked each other, but I don't know what Paul did. I don't know what he did. But I don't think he did anything. Rock is just a punk. Rock is just an egotistical punk who finally got his name dragged through the mud in Hollywood. He's like, you know what? My buddy Ari owns the company now. He'll let me be on the board. Huh. Maybe I could get more out of this. Oh, okay. Rock is conniving. I mean, they do hate me in Hollywood now after Black Adam. Maybe I could get more out of this. And then Cody got himself in the crossroads because, well, the fans backed Cody, rightfully so. Cody, little does Cody know, Rock's either going to make him turn heel or make him look like an idiot in the process. Cody, I won't say Cody screwed up either. The fans, in the end, made Cody get in Rock's crosshairs too. And I guess the biggest thing Triple H did was agree with the fans on the pivot. But either way, before that, though, this was even before that. United. I agree. We'll be live for that one as well. 20th minute, corner for Tigres. Exactly, but I'm just saying. Asterisk on John Cena number 17 when Ric Flair always had dirty title wins. Come on. John Cena only had one dirty title win. When Rick had at least 6. Who am I kidding? Probably more. That's just the ones I know off the back of my hand. Talk about asterisks. My ass. Records are made to be broken. Okay, records are made to be broken. My point, you're not getting my point. Rick is known for being the dirtiest player. Known for having dusty finishes to win his title belts. John has one dirty title win, that being 17, and you're like, oh, but it looks bad. Do we not know who Ric Flair is? Dear God. Talk about asterisks. So you're saying half of Rick's world title should have asterisks next to them. And 2, records are made to be broken. Sometimes they're broken questionably. Ask baseball. Ask the steroid era. That's real life, by the way. Barry Bonds has an asterisk next to the home run record because Barry Bonds was shooting up steroids. You still got to hit the ball, but still. Sometimes when you break records, they're going to have asterisks next to them. That's real life. So technically, you know what? It's fitting John has an asterisk if you want to go there. But don't come to me and say Rick doesn't. But in real life, there are records that were broken with asterisks next to them as well. Ask Barry Bonds. Ask Mark McGwire. Okay? You're being a Puritan. You're not getting my point. Well, they're in the semifinals. They had the best season of the points this year. Over the 2 tournaments, they had the most points this year. So it must be working. It must be working. Blocked away. Trying to look for a handball. I mean, there's no injury there. Or there's no foul there. Linez picks it up. And he goes down. I don't know exactly what they're looking at. 0-0, settle. Damn. Maybe. But I'm sure they won't talk about it because that's not what Rock wants them to talk about. Nobody will think of that. You just did. You're not wrong. He probably is. That's probably what he's doing. I agree with you. We could have got number 17 a better way than what we got. John could have won it clean. But Rock screwed it all up. You want to complain about Travis Scott? Blame The Rock. We could have had a face-v-face Cena versus Cody match. Hell, if Cena turned heel at the end of it by doing what he did by himself, that's different. That would still be better. I agree. It could have been better. I'm just happy he won. I'm just happy he's champion. But yes, you want to talk about Travis Scott, blame The Rock for that because that's his fault. That's The Rock's fault. I don't know if I mean, did I want Travis Scott to show up? No. If Rock wasn't, why did Travis Scott show up? But at least he did, I guess. But you're right. You are right. It could have been better. I'll agree with you there. Cena could have done the same stuff and turned heel the night of Mania and had a better match. He could have just won it clean as a face. But no. Cody's fans made sure that didn't happen. It's ironic Rock didn't show up again. Cody wouldn't turn because he knew he didn't want to, first of all. Second of all, if he can't get Cody to turn, he'll make him look stupid. Well, I mean, Cena was the one who hit Cody with the belt anyway. And low blowed him. So, do that what you will. 0-0, settle. Pretty even so far. That's a bad giveaway. Bad giveaway. Cleared by Cruz Azul. Oh, good job. Good clearance. Almost went horribly. I know, Arsenal drew. Liverpool could win the title this weekend with a draw. Real Madrid 1-0. Getafe. It was a pretty good sale. I mean, he should have had more happen to him, considering he was the one who busted Cody's eardrum and gave him a black eye. But, okay. He could have had more happen to him, but he sold it pretty well. I think he actually got knocked out. Or at least it looked like it, because his ass had to get pushed like 4 times to get rolled out of the ring. Definitely got his bell rung. I wouldn't say knocked out because he did come back in, but definitely got his bell rung. He definitely got something rung. Probably wise. I mean, okay. Ha. That's true. Yep, rest in peace to Mongo McMichael, Steve McMichael. It's sad to see him go. legend football player, legend wrestler, well, wrestling adjacent. 85 Bears, 85 Bears. Good guy, good analyst. He was good at anything he did. Cool dude. Rest in peace to Mongo. All the prayers to his family, all the love to his family. And sad to see him go. Legend. Legend. Nice. Good job. Good job. Where do you think Ancelotti will go? Brazil. Shot by Tigres. That's nothing there. John Stewart. That was worse. I still think John Stewart was worse. Well, of course, it's in St. Louis. Of course. As I said, rest in peace to the Pope. Hope the Lord is with him wherever he is in the afterlife. The Lord, may the Lord be with him. Rest in peace to the Pope. Those are my thoughts. I wasn't the biggest fan of Francis, but, still rest in peace to the man. May the Lord be with him. May he be celebrated in heaven. But may the Lord bless him for all the work he did. And, yeah. Condolences. That's my thoughts. Like, whether you're a fan of him or not, you still give condolences to him. It's not something where you want, now that he's passed, you want the Lord to be with him. You bless him for the work he did and hope he's lauded in heaven, whether you were a fan of him or not. I think that's where we all should be. Where we all should be. Damn, what happened? Shot wide. That'll be a goal kick. Should be, at least. Good. Amazing. Bye-bye. Get out! There we go. Get out! Oilers will lose it again. Well, I'm shocked. Not surprised. Well, I'm glad he didn't. I wasn't watching his match because there was a little bit of a severe weather problem at the time. I'm glad I didn't watch because I don't give a shit about Logan Paul. So, speaking of Get Out, yeah, you too, Logan. Speaking of Get Out, you too, Logan. Jackass. Exactly. That's why Jon Stewart was worse. Damn. Prayers out to your grandpa. I hope he gets well soon. Damn. I'm actually tearing up. Shit. I'm not going to cry on camera again, but I'm starting to feel some tears coming out. Damn. Coming up. Man. Prayers to you, man. And your family. Prayers to your grandpa. Hope he beats it. Hope he kicks its ass. Fuck cancer. That's my line there. Damn. Free kick for Tigres. Well, it's better than Jon Stewart helping you too. Lol. I know Isaiah's happy. Damn. So I guess we're all trauma dumping, eh? 33rd minute. But damn, that's sad. No problem. We love you, man. We love you. We love you, man. You're like a brother to me. We love you, man. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. What? Yeah, I don't get it either. That was stupid. Like, I guess she's turning heel, so she joins Seth's stable. That's the freaking creative she came back for? Like, it's got to be more than her just turning heel on Lyra for reasons and losing the titles after one day. It's got to be she joins Seth's group. It has to be. It's got to be more, because right now it looks stupid. It's like, oh, I'm only coming back for good creative. One day title reign and turning on Lyra for no reason? That's good creative? You screwed over Bailey for that? Huh? She better be joining Seth's team group. Heyman, Braun, and Seth. If she doesn't, that's good booking. That's good booking. But Evolution 2 is going to happen in a couple of months. Yeah, they could have called her back just to have a one-night match with anybody. Do you not remember how the first one got booked? There was a couple of those, mind you. A couple of those matches where it was just a one-night showcase of a certain woman wrestler. Do you not remember how they booked the first one? I do. This was a really good show. Evolution 1 was a really good show. It was. Do you remember how they booked it? Because I do. Let's go, Blitzo. Oh, you can. We should invade. Ransack the government for the cancer cure. Or just write a nice letter to RFK Jr. Either way. First plan, write a nice letter to RFK Jr. Second plan, ransack the government. I think the first one might work, I'm not sure, but your cousin's a badass. Your cousin's a badass. Awesome. Beat four cancers. Badass. Still kicking. Badass. All love. All love. All love. Damn. Damn, that's gotta suck. Well, I know how it feels because like my first hour math class, the day my Nana passed, I found out before I went to school. And I wasn't doing really well in that math class. I'm like, I got to go, so I take this quiz or whatever. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Because I just wanted to get it over with and see how good I did. It wasn't smart because it probably made me, I don't know if it made me do worse. Luckily, it was just a quiz, but like a mid-unit quiz, but it probably wasn't the smartest idea to like know my Nana passed, who mattered a lot to me, and that was really weighing on me. And then I go to a class that I'm not good at anyway and take a quiz that I wasn't sure if I was going to pass anyway. I just wanted to get it over with. So I know how you feel. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to like have to take an exam, quiz, test after knowing like pretty soon before you have to that somebody who mattered a lot to you passed. It's not fun. It's not fun. I guess we all are trauma dumping right now. Yeah, it's not fun. No. It's not fun. If it was any other class, it wouldn't have mattered, you know, but you know how I am with math. No. Avs win. Avs win. Mavs won't either. Probably. I wouldn't blame her. After that bullshit, I wouldn't blame her. Oh, I did. That's not carrying cross. That's killer cross. That was a good pipe bomb promo. Amazing promo from Killer Cross. Or Carrying Cross. Oh, that was Killer Cross. Man, Scarlett didn't even know where he was going. Like, did you see the look on her face? It was like, oh my. She was like, oh my, whoa. Header on, cleared away. Pretty half and half so far. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, that's like, it has been something that's grown, but to do that, I don't know if I agree with that per se, the autism registry. Now, I mean, it being diagnosed, the numbers have grown. And I think it's good to know why it's happening. But the registry part of it, no. But I'm glad I'm not diagnosed. Autistic. I know something's wrong up here. I don't know what. But I ain't diagnosed. I can guess. I ain't diagnosed, and it's probably a good thing I'm not. Something's wrong up here. I got a bit of the tism, I bet. Not diagnosed, but I mean, come on. I think I do. I think I do. I'm neurodivergent for sure. I don't, and I'm not going to. I'm fine. I'm fine just suspecting. I'm fine suspecting something is off. That's all I need. I'm fine suspecting something's off. That's all I need. That's all I need. Especially now. Especially now. How we doing, specimen? 41st minute. Cross. Oh, blocked away. I don't know. I don't know what he's complaining about. 0-0. Yeah, it's about a pretty even half so far. I wouldn't say there's nothing too crazy about it. I suspect so. I suspect just a little bit. Just a touch. Just a touch. I suspect that I have just a touch. Just a touch. Not too much. Just a touch, not too much. Just a touch and not too much. But something. Just right. It's like Goldilocks. It's just right. It's not too much or too little. It's just right. Call me. Yeah, it's like Goldilocks. It's just right. He didn't have too much. He didn't have too much or too little. He just had just right. Oh. I'm sure they have. What about an anarcho-capitalist libertarian that can kind of sort of blend in with everybody? What about an anarcho-capitalist libertarian who can kind of blend in with everybody? I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. Third minute. Yes. Yes, it would have been worse, but this year would have been better. Yeah, that's the problem. Is last year would have been worse. This year would have been better. Did you not listen to anything I've said? Cross in. Oh, God. No way. Hearing from a source that John Tortorella will be joining the Rangers. Got a message from a source close to the Flyers organization. We'll see what unfolds. Oh, God. Oh, God. John Tortorella is going back. He used to coach them. Oh, no. Not again. Oh, this is fun. I mean, I like Tortorella, but this is, that doesn't seem like such a good idea. I mean, they do. I mean, fans do complain, but sometimes they're right. Nah, he's still being... Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right on that to an extent. To an extent. 44, 50, 10 seconds to go. Playing forward. Good play. How much time's left? 45:03. Cross in. Could be the last kick of the half. And nothing there. That's going to go up for a throw. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Why'd they take so long? That'll be a goal kick. Oh, well, that's true. John Tortorella's like NHL Jose Mourinho these days. He'll get some results, but he has a shelf life, and everyone at the club hates him by the end. Yeah, that works. That works. '46 minute. That's funny. Panarin about to request a trade back to Columbus. You know, that'd be good for Columbus if that did happen. You know, I want to see Columbus build on what they have. You know, I mean, because hockey-wise, because, well, I guess football-wise too, but hockey-wise, they're still honoring Johnny even after this year. You know, I wish. 47th minute. They keep going. Okay, stop. Nestor. Pay attention to the game. Stop gooning. Get your mind out of the gutter. Stop gooning. Get your mind out of the gutter. What's wrong with Cruz Azul? They're playing like they're scared. It's called, well, I don't know. Like, I guess they have the away goal advantage. I don't know. You think Tigres would be the ones who play scared, considering they're the ones going away for the second leg. As long as they don't allow a goal, they have the away goals as long as they put one past. You might have a point. But it has been very even so far. Shot! Blocked away. Cross in, no stoppage of play. Blocked away. Shot blocked. You got a point. That is a good point. Playing forward, that'll be cleared. Mir. Or you could have just kicked it the other way, but halftime, 0-0. 0-0 esta noche. Y global 0-0 at halftime, of course, in the tie and on aggregate because it's the first leg, so whatever happens. But either way, 0-0, 0-0, pretty even, and Cruz Azul has played kind of scared. But it hasn't given Tigres much of a forward punch either. So, yeah. Yeah, I would say that's about what it is. Last year, Rock replacing Cody would have been worse. I would have been fine with Orton Batista. I love Daniel, but I'll sit with that. Like, I could stand. Who are you cheering for tomorrow? If you're talking about the Miami-Vancouver game, Miami. If you're talking about Leafs versus Ottawa, what do you think? Oh, there's a new tire commercial. Ricky Pooge didn't even play during the final. Okay. Y'all, crazy. But, obviously. Well, we got a super chat. There we go. Don't. Thanks for the $4.99. Don't turn. Don't. But then again, I say don't. I say don't. That's a bridge too far. I never had a problem with the Steelers. So that wasn't a heel turn. I never had a problem with the Penguins. That's not a heel turn. Tampa Bay, I won't cheer for. Unless they beat the Leafs, if they do make the second round, and they're not playing a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup playoff or the final. Or the Blues. But if they're not playing a Canadian team, yeah, if the Leafs lose to the Lightning, I'll cheer for them to win it. If they make the second round and beat the Leafs, as long as they're not playing a Canadian team or the Blues in the final. That's not a heel turn. Well, I don't know. That might. I don't know. Basically, whoever wins the second round is going to bandwagon the other. That's not a heel turn. With that being said, come on. There we go. Better. Rusev Day's back, I saw. Goodbye, Frankie Amaya. Good luck at LAFC. I don't understand. So he goes all the way to LAFC. Told you Tigres could win the Champions Cup. Against Vancouver, I hope. They wouldn't beat Miami, I don't think. It's going to be Vancouver Tigres final. I will crash out if that happens. If the Leafs make the Stanley Cup, who do you think will play them in the final? Ooh, Colorado. The Blues probably won't at this point. Probably be Colorado. The Blues are probably going to lose to Winnipeg at this point. Colorado. I want it to be the Blues. Probably Colorado. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. That's how I go with those. I'll believe it when I see it. Oh, God. Disregard the referral link. I hate this StreamYard update. Disregard. Hold on. Boom. There we go. I hope you're wrong. Yeah, but then Punk walked out. Imagine Vancouver finally beats Tigres in the final. I will crash out. Cool. Nice. With that being said, we'll take a short break at the half, talk about the stats, get this one going. I don't want to heal Sammy. I already saw Cena turn heel. Don't do this to me. My other favorite turns? Don't do this to me. I want to see Sammy win the world title, but not this way. Come on. My two favorites are heel. Calm down. Don't do this to me. I already have to live through John Cena being a joke of a heel. Being a dumb heel. I'm happy he's champion, but what? I blame The Rock. I'm not blaming John. John's just doing what they're telling him to do. I get it, but I do not like where this is going. I think this is a total idiotic heel turn. It is. They could have just kept him face. But thank you, Rock, for wanting to have axe to grind against Cody and Triple H. I hate you, Rocky. It's funny. John was right about you the first time. I should have never liked you for 1 year. I should have still hated your ass. John was right. We're going to find out. With that being said, now we'll take a break. 0-0 at the half. Settle meet at tiempo. Sit tight, be back. We're back for the stats at the half. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Well, there we go. Stats of the half. Hit that like button. 2 likes. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Back for the stats of the half. It would not be sick. Like, Sammy winning the world title would be sick. As a heel, no. It's an awesome jersey, isn't it? With that being said, we'll take a short break at the half. I hope to God Messi wins again. Besides, it's 2 legs, so how would it... Either way, stats of the half. 40% possession to 60% possession. 5 shots to 2. No shots on goal to no shots on goal. 100 accurate passes, 74% pass accuracy to 174. 84% pass accuracy. 4 fouls to 11. 3 corners to 4. 5 shots to 2. 0 shots on goal to 0. We have 135 passes to 206. 74% pass accuracy to 84% pass accuracy. We have 8 throws to 11. 3 offside to 2. 1 yellow card to 3. 0 red cards to 0. It's a very half and half match. It's a very back and forth match. But I will say, Cruz Azul look like punks. Cruz Azul are playing like punks. Let's just be real. They're playing like punks. They are playing weakly. They're not going after the goal. They are defending pretty well, all things considered. They have more possession, but I believe personally that they could get more. They could get forward to get a goal. They've had their moments, but nothing on goal, but they've gotten forward. But they definitely are afraid to give something up. But the thing is this game is they have the away goal advantage. If they don't score an away goal, Tigres have the away goal advantage if they pop one. So I don't exactly understand the style they're going for, Cruz Azul. I don't. Because Tigres should be the ones who are playing more weak, parking the bus, trying to keep the away goals from being scored, and maybe scoring one at home. This is totally being played out the way oppositely, you know? Cruz Azul are not the home team, but they're playing like the home team, which is just, it makes no sense. Expected more from them. Me too. Well, true, but Messi won this time. Sammy's last singles title was a heel. Yeah, but... Well, technically, no, because he won the Intercontinental title against Gunther as a face, so actually, no. No. Actually, no. But I bet you forgot that one. But not as a world champion, no. He's got to win it as a face. Like, if he's going to win the world title, he's got to do it as a face. Either of them. Like, come on. I want them to run back the NXT title storyline for him, to be real. Not exactly the same, but similar. Maybe not as long of a climb, but, you know, similar. Like, out of nowhere wins the Rumble, similar to Jay, and then goes after whoever the WWE champion is next year. Or somehow wins a number 1 contendership match before John Cena's final pay-per-view defense of the title. I don't want Cody to win the belt back. I want Sami to win the belt off John. That's what I want. I want Sami Zayn, as a face, to take the WWE title off John Cena. I want Sami to be the guy to take the title off John. That's what I want. I don't want it to be Cody. I'm okay with it being CM Punk. I personally want it to be Sami as a face. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I don't want Cody winning the belt again. I honestly, CM Punk, I'm fine with it, but I prefer Sami. I prefer them make a top star out of Sami. Truly. And besides, my OG favorite dropping the belt to my more current favorite, as in my more still going to be active after this year and more recent NXT black and gold era favorite. Come on. I mean, it means something to me. Sami Zayn beating John Cena for the WWE title would mean something to me. I'd be like, my all-time favorite, my all-time GOAT drops his final world title to Sami Zayn, who is more of my NXT black and gold era favorite. And the guy who also brought him to the main roster, let's not forget. Sami Zayn's first main roster match against John Cena for the U.S. title. John Cena's last WWE title match against Sami Zayn for the WWE World title. Come on. It may not happen, but damn it, I want it. Damn it, I want it. And I love Punk, but give me Sammy. I agree, Risklander. It's going to be Braun Breaker. No, he's a heel right now with Seth Rollins, so he's more likely probably going to take the world title off Seth Rollins next year. That's probably where that's going to happen. More likely going to be Punk. I did watch WrestleMania. Most of night 1 and most of night 2. Most. Why is Pizarro talking to a Cruz Azul player? He doesn't realize who he's talking to? Dude, look at who you're talking to. Are you trying to give things away? What's the score? 0-0. Second half's about to start. Hopefully Cruz Azul plays better, or either team plays better. We're going to see, but it's definitely been boring. But over the first half, let's hope the second half's better. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Settle was settled. 0-0. Let's have a better second half. Let's see. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Here we go. Second half. Vancouver Campion. Well, I guess the positive of seeing Vancouver win is seeing the Liga MX media crash out. But I'm also going to crash out. So it's not, you have winning this match. I had Cruz Azul winning this match. I don't know about tonight. I still think they win the tie, but I think they're giving away. The way they played that first half, they're legitimately giving away the away goal advantage. Because do they realize they're playing at El Volcan? Do they realize that? Because I'm not sure. It seems like Cruz Azul's playing this like the first leg was at their stadium. I don't know exactly what they think they're doing, but I would try to score. Well, I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. 46 minute. No, I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Nah. Wouldn't be smart. I'm going to leave well enough alone there. 46 minute. Playing forward. Cleared away. Cruz Azul. Lord, here we go. '47th minute. Cross in, Rotondi. Shot over the bar. Oh, goal kick for Tigres. Not smart. Pat McAfee versus Gunther at Money in the Bank. I'm calling it. How about Backlash? You know, that's the first pay-per-view. You know, that's the next pay-per-view. Backlash makes more sense. I don't think, well, no. If you're not going to save it for Backlash, or if you're not going to save it for SummerSlam, you shouldn't save it at all. Like, Backlash. I mean, hey, Bad Bunny wrestled at Backlash. It's not like they totally, you know, say Backlash isn't worth anything. Vince McMahon's not around anymore. Wait. No. No, Triple H had the book at that point, didn't he? I feel like he did. He did because, yeah, that was the year that Cody lost to Roman. No, Triple H had the book at that time. So, no, yeah. Pat McAfee versus Gunther at Backlash. I mean, come on. You really want to make this a 3-month storyline, first of all? Second of all, I don't think it should be safe for SummerSlam. I don't. Get it over with. I'm not saying, but then again, I guess they have to find ways to keep Gunther out of the world title scene and put him against people who have a name. So I guess maybe they will save it for SummerSlam. I thought Hunter was the head of creative. Yeah, he has the book. You don't know what that means? Having the book means he's the head of creative. It's the Carney way of saying he's the head of creative. He has the book. What? You don't know the backstage terms? You don't know Carney terms? You don't? No? Okay, 50th minute. Well, y'all really want to see me crash out, don't you? I don't know what it is. Why am I not surprised? I mean, then again, I think when you're doing things like this, you probably are. What gets noticed is the crash outs, not the positives. Good point. Whether you're in a yellow room or a blue room, what gets noticed is the crash outs, not the positives. Wink. Wink. Right, Rory? Right, Rory? He knows what I'm talking about. Or he knows who sits in that blue room. '51st minute. Nil-nil, 0-0. What is that on the pitch? Is that? No, that can't be. What's on the pitch? Is that? No. Something's on the pitch. Just blowing across the. No. I don't want to know. I don't know if I want to know. 52nd minute. It was cylindrical for sure. That was cylindrical. I will say that much. I hope that was a toilet paper roll or something instead of playing forward. Oh! Free kick for Cruz Azul. Probably. Well, no, they don't normally. No, there's got to be a little bit more wind to roll a. Probably not. No, probably not. Free kick, here we go. 54th minute. Cruz Azul's played a little bit better this half so far. Not great, but they've played a little bit better. Get a goal. They got to get something. One of 4 semifinal games being played. One of 5 games left in this tournament while we're halfway through it. Shot! Saved by Nahuel. Smart. Good try. Good try by Rivero, but it wasn't meant to be. Interesting. 55th minute. Playing forward. Good run. Cleared away. Tigres. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Playing forward. Good tackle. And nobody to pick up the second ball, of course. And that'll be a throw-in for Cruz Azul. Yes. Okay, that was more like first half Cruz Azul. Yeah. Okay, we're sliding back to what they were. Okay, here we go. A little bit of wind. I'd like to know. I don't know if we got a wind reading. That's out for a throw-in for Tigres. That was. Nobody was there. Again. Playing forward, cleared away by Tigres or Cruz Azul. Tigres pushing forward. Good tackle. That was clean. Throw in for Tigres. Aquino. The throw. 0-0. Settle was settled. Still playing forward. No goals on either side. Good tackle. Blocked. Brought down. Cruz Azul. And be a goal kick. If the Whitecaps win CONCACAF, will that make them the most successful Canadian team ever? I mean, I guess so. because Montreal, Toronto made finals. Vancouver hasn't made a final yet, but Toronto and Montreal couldn't win. They all would have a final, but at least, God forbid, Vancouver won, but they would have had the win. So, yes, they would be the most successful just on that. Do they have an MLS Cup? No. Do they have multiple Canadian championships? Yes. Do they have a Shield? No. Do they have Alphonso Davies? Yes. So, I think CONCACAF trumps all, to be real. Like, yeah, having MLS Cups is nice. Having the most CAN champs, Toronto has 8 in the MLS era since 2008, is nice. They don't have a CONCACAF trophy. If Vancouver wins the CONCACAF trophy, Toronto, I guess, drops to second, but Vancouver would be the most successful Canadian team. And then you could argue, if you want to throw the CPL teams in there, if Forge won a CONCACAF league when they were in there, they probably would be above Toronto as well, but they didn't. So, had some nice runs, but they never got the trophy. So, 58th minute. Playing forward. No. 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 I think part of it, you have to listen to their answers too. So, no. I can't really read lips. So, do that what you will. No. Antuna's off for Cordova. Corner for Cruz Azul. Cross in. Now. Yeah, but no. Shot wide. I want them to win because it'll piss off 2 leagues at one time, the Mexican and MLS, United States side of the MLS. Well, it also pissed me off. So it'll also piss off Toronto fans. And I don't know about Montreal fans, but I don't know about all of them, but I'm definitely on the side of the Toronto fans that would be pissed off about it. I don't know about Montreal fans, though. But there's probably a sect of Canadian fans who are like elbows up. Any Canadian team. But you'd root for another Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah, how close has Toronto got in my lifetime? Not a lick. There's a difference. Toronto got a goal away from winning the CCL, and they should have won the damn thing. There's a difference. I've never seen the Leafs get past halfway through the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's a difference there. There's a difference there. And there's been Canadian teams to win it before. There's also the line of, oh, the first Canadian team to ever win the CCL could be X. That's also different. There's been a lot of Canadian teams to win the Stanley Cup because the sport started in Canada. So there's a difference. And the Leafs have won a good couple as well. So, even before they started sucking. So, there's a difference. There's a couple of differences. Also, I didn't get cut so deep that the cut still hasn't scabbed over. That CCL final cut me so damn deep. I'm Gollum when it comes to this trophy. Okay? Simple. I've never seen the Leafs get that close. What's cut me deep is those Bruins series. You want to compare it to some, compare it to the Bruins series. I hate the Boston Bruins. With the fire of 1,000 suns. All right? There you go. There's your comparison. Would you watch AEW for $1 million? No. No, I would not. Interesting. It's an interesting move. They need a midfielder. They need a number 10. They need more creativity. I think it's an interesting idea. Interesting. 63rd minute. For a whole month. No. No. $63rd minute. Playing forward. 0-0, settle is settle. Hit the like button, get us one gone. $64th minute. Bro, that's how I felt when Pachuca lost Liga MX's final to Atlas after being so dominant. So you can understand. So you understand. Sort of. So you sort of understand. $65th minute. Oh, come on. There we go. Playing forward. Kicked away by Mir. What is he doing? Oh, that was the stupidest thing. Oh, Lord. He lost his mind. He lost his damn mind. 25 more minutes. Shot. That goes wide. Do. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Four v4. Goal kick for Nawel. Last 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Looks to me. Looks like we're going to get a 0-0 draw unless something crazy happens. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Cross in. Brought down. Played down. Top of the box. Cross in. Header. Away by Tigres. It's like they're kind of getting close, but what do I know? Cool. Look. 66th minute. Pizarro's not a good manager, but at least he realizes Cruz Azul's back line loses the ball. Yeah. Partially because they want to, partially because they are. But, oh yeah, Tigres just said no matter how the CONCACAF goes or the Liga, Pizarro is going to stay the manager of Tigres. They're going to build a long-term project with him. Which, you know what? I think kind of makes sense. He's the most like Tuca because he played for a long time under Tuca. And I think maybe it's trying to go back to the same well, but I think it makes sense to go back to that well. I think it makes sense to go back to that well. So do that what you will. 67th minute. Cruz Azul plays forward. Advantage play. Ball crossed in. Header down. Shot. Goal. 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 Goal de la máquina. Goal de Cruz Azul. Goal de Rotondi. Horrible play by Tigres. And in the end, Carlos Rotondi with a goal. 0-1, 0-1. There it is. The away goal for Cruz Azul. Rotondi, out of nowhere, the ball just falls to Rotondi. Off of a Tigres defender, off the side of him. He didn't even notice, and boom, past Nahuel. Was it pretty? No. Was it greasy? Not exactly, but it worked. Carlos Rotondi makes it 1. Normally he costs them in moments like this, but turns out he may have just helped them. Is he the football version of Morgan Riley during the playoffs? Well, no, because most of the time. Either way. 0-1 esta noche. 0-1 on the night. And Tigres, and on aggregate. 0-1 esta noche igual. With 20 minutes to go, 21 minutes to go. But Cruz Azul might have just taken the away goal lead. So the good news is they're going home for the second leg. And Tigres has to score 2 away to take the lead. Or 1 away if it's 1-1, but then Cruz Azul scores a goal, and then basically Tigres have to score 2 away to outmaneuver Cruz Azul's away goal there, and who knows what happens after. So Tigres fell asleep out of boredom. Jigglypuff, it worked. Let's go Cruz Azul, says Zach. He left. He went to a team who has like 6 forwards. They're like 2 wingers deep on each side. Yeah, he's an idiot. That's what happened. And he's not really that much better. He hasn't been that much better at Tigres. He hasn't been that much better than Oziel or Gorehan or Lainez or Flores. He hasn't been that much better. So he's fallen off, but he's also went to a team where if he isn't performing, he can be replaced by anybody. He's trash. That's what happened. He had his best season at Cruz Azul. They got rid of him at the right time, I guess. Which I didn't think that was the case, but it's the part where Tigres starts attacking. Well, here's the problem. They gave away away goal, so where's Salcedo playing now? I think he's back at Juarez. At least I thought he was. I thought he was back at Yepez. Let me look. Carlos Salcedo. Former Toronto FC man, by the way. For like 6 months. Less than, actually. There we go. Carlos Salcedo. Monterrey. Oh, he went to Monterrey. Which makes no sense considering... But no, he went to Monterrey, actually. He left Juarez to go to Monterrey. That happened in January. Got 2 spots. Take it to El Tree. Oziel, Flores, Luca Romero, Efrain Alvarez, or someone else under 23. I will take Luca Romero and Oziel. I think Oziel and Luca Romero are the 2 best players of that group now. And honestly, better than anybody else I could think of. Give me Ozziel, Luca Romero. Now, of course, Luca Romero would have to choose to play with Mexico, but at this point, I think he should know that Argentina doesn't want him. He's the opposite of Santi Jimenez. Yeah, give me Luca Romero and Ozziel Herrera. Yes. Speaking of, 3 of those 4 players play for these 2 teams. Ironically enough, so Aslan Antuna was more of a winger. He does a good job of ball possession, but he can't score, except for that 1 half season at Cruz Azul. Except whenever he was at Cruz Azul. I add that up to Anselmi. Let's be real. I don't know if he would have played that well under Sanchez either, so I say Anselmi did it. Oh, that's why Carlos Salcedo got injured on his first training session with Monterrey. That's why I didn't know. That's got to suck. Romero got KO'd his last match. Cruz Azul got a little bit more confident. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, when you score a goal. Marcelo Flores is on for Diego Lainez. No. If he was Canadian, he would be, but no. He chose to play for Mexico. Come on. Ugh. There we go. I mean, it's Porto. Like, I understand why he left. But to leave in between, like, the first 2 weeks of the season, you know, it looks bad. It looks bad. And I think Anselmi's a very good coach. He left them high and dry. And it isn't gone that well at Porto, which I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say it's his fault, but he definitely burned his bridges at in Mexican football, which sucks because probably need to rebuild those bridges sooner rather than later. 75th minute, 0-1, 0-1. He is. Do you think he's that good? If we're talking about Anselmi, yes. If we're talking about Marcelo Flores, I think he's solid, but I wouldn't say he's that good. He has his moments. 76th minute. Oh. Whatever happened to Diego Colca? I don't think he's coached since he got fired from the national team. I think he's coaching Argentina now. I think he also went to Spain. He didn't do well there. At least he was rumored to, but hold on. Was it? There we go. He is not coaching anywhere right now. He coached at Valladolid. After the national team from December 14th, 2024 to 17th of February 2025. Yeah, he did horrible. I thought so. He did horrible. He got sacked after 8 games. 2 months, 8 games. Almost 2 months to the day. Damn. Think Mascherano's a good coach? I say yes. I say he is. Now, he's better than Tata Martino, so. I mean, that might not mean much, but 77th minute. He's good enough. 1 win, 7 losses. God. For Diego Coca and Valladolid. Jesus Christ. Jesus! '78th minute. Playing forward, 79th minute. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. That's part of the reason why MLS is starting to catch up. Because Liga MX is trying to turn into MLS. They care more about the money than the competition. Cross in. It's like they got broken by the fact they can't be in Libertadores, which I understand that. It's like they got broken by basically being told, hey, we don't want you Libertadores anymore. You can't go. And they're like, well, they weren't satisfied with outrunning MLS, which I guess they were so sure that it would last longer that they basically were like, well, hey, if that's what they're doing and they suck against us, we're still going to outrun them doing what they're doing. And we'll make a lot of money doing it. Come to find out that they're catching up. Wouldn't say they caught up totally, but they're catching up because you really shouldn't be. But 79th minute, save by Mir. Getting to the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time. Goal. No, not yet at least. Header on, brought down, shot, and saved by Mir. Unless I'm like that far behind. Nothing yet. You missing some? Trolling, yeah. Been 4 years. They keep saying they're going to bring back Ascenso Descenso. And again, I said I'll believe it when I see it. This is the FMF we're talking about. Believe it when you see it? Okay. Oh, now well. Free kick the other way. He hugged the other player. Now well, dear God. He went and hugged the other player. It's like, what? I wonder what he said. Like, was it nice or did he hug him just to say, you bastard? I wonder what it was. 9 minutes to go plus stoppage time. I wonder what he was doing. Like, was it a good hug or was it a hug where he was like, hey, you bastard? It's like one of those, or was it, I don't know. Oh, Lord. Cross cleared away. Header. Not good enough. '81st minute. Playing forward. Oh, there we go. Lol. There he is. Where have you been? Vancouver isn't just winning at one time. They're doing a three-peat. Bogusz coming in. There's Mateusz Bogusz for Fernandez. I hope you're wrong. I can't. Well, I guess it's better for it to be a three-peat because Fernandez for Bogusz. I'll definitely be more positive to Vancouver if they do it 2 times or 3 times in a row because then I just can't, Might as well blow Toronto out of the water. Might as well. Because you might as well. We're not going to get 3 unless they call the Pirate. If they call the Pirate, if Toronto calls the Pirate, they'll win more than 3. They'll win more than 3. I don't know if I'd say 3-peat, but they'll definitely win more than 3 CCLs. If they don't, we'll be lucky to get 1 in 30 years. So, do that what you will. You call the Pirate, will be Real Madrid. You don't call the Pirate, you're only going to get 1 in 30 years. That's being liberal about it. It's being liberal about it. Equalizer for Tigres. 83rd minute. 0-1. Let's see what it looks like. It's not a bad result for Cruz Azul if it's 1-1, but, Brunetta chips it in. Header goal. Oh, my. What a header. What a header. Juan Jose Peralta scores the header. That's what he's good at. There you go. Gol de Tigres. Gol de Peralta. Cabezazo de Peralta. What an assist from Brunetta. What assist from Brunetta. Peralta with a header that's what he does. 1-1. 1-1. 84th minute. Not bad. That's what he does. Goal. That's not what I meant by that, but that's not what I meant by that. When I said being liberal about it, I was saying I don't even know if Toronto would win 1 CCL without the Pirate in 30 years. If I'm being conservative about it, I don't think they'll do it in 30 years. If I'm being real, without the Pirate at least. If you have the Pirate, you'll be Real Madrid. Because I know a certain Pirate wants the CONCACAF, the precious CONCACAF trophy. Like it's the ring from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. But that's just what I've heard. I don't know for sure, but that's just what I've heard. 86th minute. 1-1. 1-1. That does sound pretty good. 86 minutes. Wolff coming on for Cruz Azul. At least they have the away goal. They have the away goal advantage going into the second leg. And Charlie Rodriguez is off. Good. 86 minute. Bye-bye. '86 minute. Plays forward. Cleared away. 87th minute. Have you paid attention? The CONCACAF's the only trophy Messi hasn't won that he's played in. Well, also, he has not won the MLS Cup. So technically, 2. And he also hasn't won the U.S. Open Cup either. 3. That's 3. He's played the U.S. Open Cup. Hasn't won it. He played the semifinal. The CONCACAF Champions Cup. He hasn't won it yet. Still in the semifinal of this tournament, though. He hasn't won the MLS Cup. Played 1 playoff series and lost. He did win the Shield, though. So good for you. He did also win the Leagues Cup, which, funnily enough, he comes there as soon as it becomes a big summer month-long tournament and goes out of nowhere to win it. Out of like a fairy tale. Out of like a fairy tale that happened. But he has the Leagues Cup, but it is what it is. So, yeah, that makes sense. This year will win everything. Well, we'll see. 88th minute. We'll see. Rotondi. One and a half minutes to go. Plus possibly more. Uno. Plays on. Bogus. Doesn't get there. Free kick the other way with a minute to go plus stoppage time. Player down, hurt. Well, technically, no. That was 2019. They did beat León. Cruz Azul was really good at the time. I wouldn't say that was an embarrassment. That Toronto team probably deserved to lose to that Cruz Azul team the way they did. Now, León, on the other hand, that was embarrassing for them. No, 2019 was a true embarrassment. Yes, it was. That was true embarrassment. But that was the second to last time we've been in CONCACAF, so technically you're wrong. 4 minutes of stoppage time. What athlete is more emotionally sensitive than MLB pitchers? The Rock. I'll count it. The Rock. Wrestling is technically athletes. I'll count it. Rock. Talk about Miami. Well, yeah, they did. But, true. But still, Toronto, I wouldn't say they got embarrassed. The last time they were there was the time before. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 1-1, uno. Good clearance. 3 minutes to go. Corner for Tigres. 1-1, uno. Corner. Getting to halfway through stoppage time. Header, that's out for a goal kick. 2 minutes to go. Oh, I hate that chant. I hate that chant. Horrible. Playing forward, blocked away. Now Well gets it. 1 minute to go. 1.5 minutes to go. Well, I mean, I'm used to that John Cena chant. They've been doing it for 10 years. Yeah. And it's still at least interesting. I don't know about interesting, but at least sounds better than Cody Rhodes. Besides, they only use it for John Cena. They don't use it for 5 other superstars that just so happen to fit the... At least it was to John Cena's music, is what I'm saying. Did I like what they were saying? No. But do I like what they're saying? No. But was it to John's music? Yes. I don't even know what song they were doing Cody's chant for. 30 seconds to go. Playing forward. Ten seconds. Sad that AJ's retiring soon? Yeah, because he's another one of my favorites. I'm getting old. Seconds to go. Free kick. And the final whistle will be blown any moment. Headed down. Cruz Azul trying to get the ball back. Full time! After the first leg of this tie, it is 1-1. 1-1 esta noche. Goals de visitar para Cruz Azul. 1-1 esta noche y global. Goals de visitar para Cruz Azul. 1-1 on the night and on aggregate. Away goals to Cruz Azul going into the second leg. And we'll see how it goes. But that was a Tigres home game. There we go, 1-1. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribe. Send some chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlists. Shares with your friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you within the hour. I will see you within the hour for the review of this match. And then tomorrow I'll be live 9:25 because it's a 9:30 match Central Time for Vancouver Whitecaps versus Inter de Miami. So review this. I'll see you tomorrow night. Be another late one. And there you go. Should be a fun one. See you later. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace.